Hello everyone, Carlos Flores, back on basics. So today we're going to talk about passing by the good and the bad times. And I think I've talked about both of them separate, but I'm going to talk about both of them together in this video. And it's kind of like riding by or passing by or walking by. Remember, I always say that life is a marathon, it's not a race. Sometimes, yes, you do get some rewards if you're first and everything, but if you're not the first, don't worry about it. If you complete your goal, or if you meet your goal, or if you get to a point where you succeeded, then that's rewards enough. I mean, it's great. So, writing the positive and the negative is something that we all have to do. Remember, I said in the last few videos that we ride a roller coaster of emotions, psychology, it's like psychological things, different situations. Sometimes we're up and we're feeling good. Sometimes we're down and we're not feeling good. And I've talked about both of them, like I said, separately. So, but writing both positive and negatives, and I'm not saying that you don't celebrate, because that's one of my 5 things. Remember, get to know yourself, get to know others, get to know your higher power, get to know your goals, and get to know how to celebrate your goals. So it's important for you to celebrate both the ups and the downs, because it is. You know why? Because life is teaching you a lesson, or life is giving you clues as to how to get to where you want to get to. And so it's important for you to do that. It's important for you to persevere through the downs and push through the ups, right? And so it also means that there's actually a finite, which means kind of like a limit of when you go up and when you go down, right? And so you have to know yourself in order for you to know how much of the good you should ride and how much of the bad you should ride before, or the negative you should ride before you move on. So, because you don't want to get stuck in the negative, you don't want to get stuck in the positive. Why? Because if you get stuck in the negative, then things are going to pile on. Remember, I've talked about piling on, and I've talked about the compounding effect, and how that, if you have a lot of things piled on, then it's hard for you to get through unless you just push through and persevere. You can still do it, but there's things piled on that you haven't really processed or done. And so that slows you down. So you don't get to where you want to get to when you want to get to. And so when you pass the negatives, if you ride through the negatives, believe me, the next thing is up to the positives, right? There are some times where you go from a negative to a negative to a negative, but all you have to do is ride through it. You have to toughen up. I actually have a picture of a bird, right? That's shivering and looking down, and the caption says, all you have to do is tuck yourself in, put your head down, and pray that you get to a better place. And it's amazing, because that is exactly, if for all of you religious and unreligious, it doesn't mean that you have to get into religion if that's what you choose to do. But what it says is tuck it in, push down, and persevere, right? Move forward. And that's what it does. It's right through the negatives. Because if you just stay stagnant, then that's all you're going to be looking at. Then your mind is going to start changing. And it's going to see everything that you do, everything that you see, everything that you want to do, everything, all of the people that you come in contact with as negative. You don't want to stay stuck in the negative side. Also, you don't want to get stuck in the positive side either, because Remember, I said this before. If you stay in the positive for too long, then you start seeing things a little skewed, a little different. They're not what it seems, right? Remember, right? There is a point where on one extreme is positive, on the other extreme is negative, and there is a point down the middle where you are the most optimized in your mind and the most optimized in your body, and that is the neutral zone. That is the here and now. And I say it, and I say it, and I say it, and I'm going to keep on saying it to you so that way you can process it and say, I need to be in the here and now. I need to be in the neutral zone so that way I can make the best decisions for me, for those around me, right? For your support system, for your village. And so it's important for you to be middle of the road. It doesn't mean that you're not going to enjoy the positives and ride through the negatives. It just means that you're not staying there. You're not becoming a permanent citizen of Positiveville or Negativeville. You're going to be in the Neutralville, which is the neutral zone, which is now, right? Right now at 4:16 p.m. Pacific time, I'm riding it. I'm riding it. I'm getting there. I'm in the neutral zone, and I'm so focused that, I mean, I said to myself, I'm going to make this video right now. I want to bring this knowledge out of my head and into a video, into this YouTube video. I want to make sure that I do it because I just rode then through the negative and through positive today, all in one day. And right now, I'm in the neutral zone. I'm talking to you. I'm not thinking about what happened yesterday. I'm not thinking about what happened today. I'm not thinking about the future. And guess what? In about 14 minutes, I'm going to go into my Thursday night class for my credentialing program. So I'm not looking into that yet. When I get there, I guess I will be in the middle and I will be present in my class. I will make sure that I'm in the neutral zone so that way I can get the best ideas, so I can process things a lot better, so that way I can learn how to be a great special education teacher. And so again, right now, that's not the time. Right now, I'm here with you. Or whenever you turn on the video, I'm here with you. But again, right, the two extremes, the negative and the positive, right? And in the middle zone, in the neutral zone, in the here and now, that's where you're at. That's where you make the best decisions. That's where you are able to collaborate with people, right? So that way they can actually give you extra support and tell you what they see from their perspective. Because your neutral zone, your here and now, it's different than their here and now. And the nice thing about it is that they see things from a different perspective, and they are able to support you, to tell you in a critical way, that not in a critical way, not in a bad way, but a critical thinking way, what you need to do to move forward. Remember, I always tell you, do at least 3 steps, right, at a time. Don't go overboard and try to think that you can do everything, because believe me, that can get you exhausted. 3 steps. And when one step is gone, then you add another 3rd step. And when that one is gone, then you go to another step. And remember, the power of compounding will help you get to your goal. Thank you to the 131 subscribers in this YouTube channel. Remember, right? These topics is not what the majority of people out there want to hear. Not yet. Anyways, I'm telling you, not yet. There is a time that you have to, or you want to, or you need to, but not for everybody. I mean, if I was shaking my booty in my underwear, then I would get thousands and thousands of views. But that's what the current situation is, right? In social media. That's what we're being flooded in. That's why there's so many controversies with different social media outlets. And so this channel is actually growing very well, steady and very well, right? With 131 subscribers. The ones that haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to subscribe, right? Back on Basics 99.85. And so, because everything that all these videos that I'm doing, and I'm doing once a day. So remember, by the end of the year, there should be about 365, right, videos or so. And those videos are going to be always free. No subscription. I'm telling you this. I'm not going to the subscription level because I want you to have these available to you for free. So, I mean, I want to make sure that you know that. And I've been saying that in my videos. So when you ride the positive, right, or the negative, I want you to realize that I want you to see how you feel, how you think, right? Whenever there's a negative wave or a negative time period, sit in it. No social media, no nothing. Shut off everything and just sit for a little bit and just think and say, okay, this is a negative place that I'm at right now. How does my mind think about this, or what is it processing, and how do I feel in this negative event or negative time of my life? And you learn from it. And you think, okay, this is what I need to do to get past it. Remember, all you need to do is just write it. You don't have to work really hard. Just write it. If you want to get through it faster, of course, you do a little bit more than just write it. But if you want to just get through it, you ride the negative time. Or you ride the positive time. Because when it's positive, this is the time that you also sit down and you turn off social media and you turn off all of the things for a little bit and say, wow, this is a good situation, a good place where I'm at. What am I processing right now in my mind? How do I feel about this? And you kind of take like a snapshot. And that snapshot will remind you of, oh, I felt good in the positive versus the negative. And then again, that'll motivate you also to get to where you want to get to. But always be in the present moment. Always be in the here and now. Make sure, because, I mean, motivation, right? And I'll talk about motivation. I've actually talked about motivation before in my earlier videos. But there's two types of motivation. There is intrinsic motivation, which means it's internal. That's your drive. That's your personal drive. What drives you? That's intrinsic motivation. For example, for me, intrinsic motivation, internal motivation, what drives me means being a provider, being able to help people, being able to connect people with resources, being able to be there both mentally, emotionally, and physically, in a sense, not in a physical way, but in a sense with somebody, being there, being in the present moment there for somebody to support them. So that's some of the things that I feel intrinsic motivation. That's what drives me. Believe me. Why am I mean, you can see all of my jobs, right? Psychologist, therapist. I worked in juvenile hall for a while. I worked, let's see what else. As an educator, I still work as an educator. I still teach psychology classes. And so there's many things that I would like to do that I want to do. And that drives me. Helping drives me. Providing, being a provider as a family member drives me. And so you have to find what drives you intrinsically inside. Extrinsic means what drives you on the outside. Honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. Getting a paycheck so that way I can help provide and support family and friends and my village. That drives me extrinsically, which means externally. That's an external drive. Making these videos is both intrinsic, internally, or extrinsic, externally. And it drives me because I'm always smiling when I make these videos. I'm always making sure that these videos get done every day. It's not even about motivation anymore. It's about, hey, I got to sit down and get this done so that way I can publish this video on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, Back on Basics 9985. So writing the positive and the negative, right? Making sure that you don't stay in either one of them and you're always in the present moment, that is the best place to be. Believe me, I know that some of you think that staying positive in the positive situation is the best, or some of you like the negative stuff and the negative situation is the best. But once you realize that in the here and now and in the middle of the road, where everything's neutral, you get to choose whether it's negative or whether it's positive. You get to choose. Don't let anybody choose for you. Don't let others, or don't let situations dictate that it's either positive or negative. Because you're in the present, you're in the neutral zone, you get to decide to do that. So a lot of the times when that mindset switches, you ride through everything really quickly. And then you get to where you want to get to. And it doesn't mean that you're missing out on the positive stuff or, moving away from the negative stuff. It just means that you sit there, but not as much as you usually do. You enjoy it. I mean, not as much as you usually do, but you still enjoy it. So, sorry, my allergies for some reason just started. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Back on Basics 9985. Hit the notification button so that way you can get notified of any new videos. Hit the like button. Again, writing through the positives and the negatives of life. You see how I'm adding pieces to it? It's my mind. It's just, it's like, by the time I get to class, my mind's going to be running like 1,000 miles an hour. If you have any topics that you want me to go over, put them in the comment section. Connect with me on Facebook at Carlos Flores Jr. Connect with me on Instagram at Back on Basics. Connect with me on X. I love that. At Carlos AFJR. So again, right? Don't stay too negative. Don't stay too positive. Down the road, neutral is where you can choose where you want to be. And it takes time. You will get there. Till next time, Back on Basics.